just makes you want to dance. I should have it fade out though, because it's like, oh, I'm still dancing.
I love it.
It's awesome. So happy New Year, everybody.
Yay.
It's so hard to believe. I feel last year went by so fast, but I am so excited for 2024.
Same.
Super excited. Lots of great goals. And I do love going through everyone's answers as they're requesting to join the group. And a lot of people did want to do a vision board class.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting because we just did our business planning last month. And of course we touch on the vision board because I feel they go hand in hand.
Totally. I got to say, when I took your class, gosh, what was that, like 2017, 2018 in person? I had never like done a real vision board. I thought about it, but I was like, meh, whatever. And then like I started doing it and it's crazy. Like we talked about in business class, like the things that I've knocked off of it, or like I've actually really devoted time to doing it without even realizing. I was like, this is crazy. I just love it. It's a nice reminder. It's a really good reminder.
And I agree. And I remember the first time we decided to do the vision board with the paper and the magazines. And I mean, it was like, I felt it was very elementary, but it seemed to be what everybody else was doing. So, okay, we'll add that part to the business planning. And to me, it was time consuming. I did cheat and I, just went into PowerPoint or Word or whatever, went to Google, found me some graphics because I just felt like I was going through so many magazines trying to find what I was actually looking for. And I'm like, but it's so much easier just to go to Google and like print. So I did cheat a little bit. So I was done way before everybody else because I had exactly what I wanted and then pasting and cutting and oh my gosh, what a mess. But then, when everything kind of shifted to go online, I realized, okay, Canva has like all these templates. I can do everything exactly the way I want. But for me, having the vision board now is I don't want to say more important. It is as equally important as the entire business planning process. As
totally
elementary as it is, there is something about looking at it every single day. And I don't know, it was just crazy the first time I did it and it's standing in front of there. I mean, that was when all of these, it feels like doors opening, but I don't know what it was. It was weird, but it just kind of started happening. And I'm like, oh my gosh, of all these things, I do business planning every year for 15 years. And there was something about the vision board that made everything seem seamless or just started falling into place. And I don't know if it's just because I had to stare at it every day or I have no idea. But it was crazy. So I make my kids do that.
It's huge.
I try to get my husband, he is involved with mine. And, okay, let's think of our, what's our 5, 10, all of that. But I mean, he thinks I'm nerdy, but that's okay because things are happening and he doesn't get it. But
you do.
I do. I get it. He doesn't know why this stuff is just happening. It's like, there's actually purpose behind everything. So
yes.
So whether you don't get it or not, you get to enjoy it, I guess. But well, I'm going to go ahead and share this. Is that your roofers?
I hope not. You can hear the dogs.
I'm waiting for mine to get up. They're laying right here behind me.
Oh, yeah. I gotta love it.
All right, so we're going to jump right into this. The vision board Smackdown. And just like we were just saying, why vision boards work. To me, it's that goal clarity. It's that vision. To me, I can't write a roadmap to my success without that clear roadmap and that enhanced focus. So I have exactly what I want. I personally do mine kind of 1 year, 5 and 10. I kind of break mine up a little bit just because it's not all about what's next year. It's, how do I achieve that 10-year goal? And
Yep.
some may be wanting to retire or something like that. But there has to be that roadmap to get there. It doesn't just happen. I can't, in 9 years, oh, well, this is next year. So for me, it is a little bit of, piecing everything out. I think my first, maybe 15 years ago, my first time doing it. And I remember having a house in the mountains. And for the last 10 years, I've had, that's when I had to sell my Jeep because at the time they didn't have 4-door Jeeps. Never liked the 4-door Jeeps. To me, it was like a cute minivan or something. I don't know, like a little bus, the way they're like a big brick, right? But I had to sell my old Jeep, and I was like, it is on my goal. Like I need, as soon as my goal is to be able to afford to get my kids into their own cars when they turn of age. And that's when I'll get my Jeep. When the kids are, I'll have my mommy mobiles to do, the cheerleading, the baseball, the wet up football, all that fun stuff. One day I will get my Jeep back. But having that constantly, and it's like, here I am, I'm up in the mountains and I finally got my Jeep after my kids. So I think there's just something to be said about that, on having the goals, having clarity, having that, the motivational boost, I think, is you have to put something you're excited about.
Yeah.
You're
100%.
excited about it and you have no emotional ties. It won't mean anything to you. So that's why I feel, whether it's business partner, whether it's your spouse, whomever, I feel you need to be involved. And we heard yours barking. Do you hear mine snoring now? I'm like, I almost want to wake her up because it's like, okay, you're getting
I
loud.
don't, but like I hear them now in the backyard barking. I don't know what's going on. I think someone came to the front door, and yeah, you got welcome to my life, guys. 3 dogs.
Life is dogs too, right?
Dogs,
That's all life. So what do you have let's see, I'm trying to read what the rest of this says. Did you do reminder? Stay focused. Yes. This was a big help when the world shifted, having that goal, because life does happen. Things will need to shift as you're going about it. Dreams change. There's just so many different aspects in life itself, but and you're always going to be able to change. But having my goals and then having my business plan really helped when the unknown happened. Just because I was able to shift or focus on what I did have control over and run with that. And, may have had to change directions, but on the business planning, I do have my doing done for every single month. And I was like, well, I had one video I had to do every month. And I was like, well, I can do videos right now. So no excuses, mark them all off. And at least that part was done. I can pre-write blogs. There were so many different things I could do. So I was able to focus on that and having the vision and still being able to exceed anything I could have possibly imagined. And that's because I had the vision. I knew exactly what I wanted, but having the business plan, that roadmap, to guide me through everything that I need to do. I thought that was very powerful to me.
100%. And even for me, like I think the vision board and the business planning when I first took with you was definitely impactful. And then I really genuinely dove in more. And then when I hired a coach, oh my gosh, it took me a year, but like, it's crazy. Even this morning when I woke up, I thought about it. I was like, I have come so far and I have so much clarity that I didn't know what I was missing until I got it. It's tremendous.
No, I hear that. And I think there's a science. This was when I was thinking of Brie with the whole psychology. And I guess it is like manifesting, which I always like. I never thought of that as like a powerful thing, or just thought it was kind of weird, like, oh, I'm going to think this and it's going to happen. But there is the science behind it, is that visualization, seeing what I want every single day, that it helps me work harder. To me, it's like, I don't want to just dream something. Like I work hard for everything and there's like a purpose behind it. But I guess there's the science behind seeing and visualizing.
Yep.
there is that manifestation power behind it.
Hey,
So.
listen, this is so ridiculous, but like it proved my point to Kenny. So on Facebook, I don't know, a couple years ago, me being me, um, there was this octopus like walking across the beach or something, like this orange octopus. And then there was another one that was swimming in the parking garage in Miami during king tide. And I made a joke and I shared it to him like I always do with all the silly animal stuff. And I was like, let's get an octopus. I'm going to get an octopus. Fast forward to now, my car, which I call Hercules, has a orange octopus in it. And so it popped up on my on my memories on Facebook. And I was like, see, I manifested an octopus. And the dog too. Like we call her our charity case. Like I used to say, we need a third dog. We need a third dog. But I was like joking, right? Like, so you have to be careful because it was really just a joke. Because now we're outnumbered. I feel like it's like 3 kids, but with 4 legs. The only difference is I can put them in a crate. Oh my gosh. Now we have a dog. So Kenny goes to me now. He's like, could you just be like a little bit more specific and careful of what you manifest?
It's crazy though. And I think there is like a full on science behind manifesting, behind having that visual aspect every single day that you're looking at. And I loved this acronym, this Be Smart. And it's, be specific, make sure everything is measurable, attainable, relevant, and put a timestamp to that. I think, to me, I have that 1, 5, 10-year goal. And I feel that's important because, yes, in order to get this 10-year goal, I need to achieve 1, but also 5. And that way there's kind of that full cycle. So I thought this was a pretty awesome acronym. I'm going to add it to our business planning for December, or when we do our business planning, because I thought this was great. And just really think about that when you're doing your vision boards, is to make sure that you are being very specific and that it is measurable. To me, you have to know your numbers to be able to know everything about your business, and relevant, because times, we're constantly shifting in times and everything else. So I thought that was pretty fantastic to think about that part of it. And then I want to go Tony Robbins just for like
a brief one. I do this on my board.
A brief moment. And really, I want you to close your eyes. Okay. And I wish I meant to put some cloudy music on my app, but I didn't, like on my phone. But okay, so we can pretend there's fancy music. But really, I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to visualize yourself driving down the road. As you're driving down the road, what's in the distance? What do you see? Now, all of a sudden, you're slowing down because you see this house. It's like your dream house. Like you can't believe, like you've envisioned something for so long, and that's it right there. So I want you to really think about the house. What's surrounding the house? Like for me, I like mountains. I like to be on a lake. I love water aspects. What's in the driveway? What vehicles are in there? Because that's like your dream house right there. So now you're stopping. You have to go into this house. I want you to think about that. Go to this house. Go knock on the door. You have to meet these people. How do they have the vehicles, the house, everything? It's your dream. So it's your future self 20 years from now. That's who opens the door. You go inside. What furniture's there? What does everything look like? What do you look like? What's changed? What's different from where you are right now to this future self that you just met? Now you're having a conversation with this person. You're sitting in the kitchen. There are photos on the fridge. Maybe vacations, maybe family. What does it look like? Where are you going on vacation? So I really just want you to maybe have this conversation with your future self. How did you get there? So I really want you to think about this. Your 1, 5, 10, 20, whatever your goals may be. what did that look like to you? What is your future self? What do you actually want in life in general? If you're looking to retire, maybe you want to go on vacations. I know a lot of people go on, do the family. I would love to be able to go to Europe. My father's in Germany and he's been there 25 years and I have not made it yet. One day I want to make it there. My, nephew's getting stationed. He'll be in Germany next year. So, that's just different things that I want to be able to do. We need to put that on our vision board.
Yep.
You set those goals to be able to do that.
I totally break ours down like that for sure. And what's interesting is that there's a lot of things that I will transfer over year. And it still may stay in the 1-year plan, or maybe it gets moved to the 5-year plan. It just depends on what happened and transpired that year. But it's crazy to see the things that like come to life. It really is.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing it's been on there, it was supposed to be the 1 year. And that was like when we moved here 4.5 years ago, was supposed to be, our kitchen is hideous. And so is our bathroom. But that money went into my Jeep and I like my Jeep. So I know where it's going.
That's like your creative hustle was actually on my 1-year plan. And I think it ended up being more like 3 years, but like here we are. So it was just a concept back then. It wasn't even like a legit thing. It was just like, this would be cool. I don't know how to do it, but it'll come to me eventually. And ta-da!
And now we're making it happen, seeing what happens and go from there. And I'm excited about it. So it'll be good.
All right. So here's my stuff. All right. I'm going to apologize if you guys hear a little bit of noise in the background. It's either the dogs or the roofer. So sorry. Welcome to my life. Self-discovery questions. If anyone has ever taken any of our classes before, for me, self-discovery is so super huge with me, because if we don't have an awareness, then how are we going to have clarity? I think they go hand in hand, and I think awareness and clarity are completely different, in the sense of you can be aware and still have some fog there. And it's not until you get clarity that you're really like, this makes sense. So some questions I ask myself, because I am very squirrel brained. There is a ton of things. I am super inquisitive too. Like if I want to know something, I probably research far more than I should, just because I want to make sure I genuinely understand something. So I have to ask these questions, like, what brings me joy? Just because I think I want to do it, or I think I want to know it, it doesn't mean that it's going to bring me joy. It might give me anxiety learning about it or something like that. So I have to like double check, because the rabbit holes are real and sometimes very scary. What are your biggest dreams? Like, for me, on my vision board, I have some super outlandish dreams, like things that I was like, that's ridiculous. But you'd be surprised. Like, your creative hustle was literally just a dream. I bought the URL and I claimed the group years ago. And I just sat on it and was like, I don't know when, I don't know how, I'm not really sure what it will be, because it could have gone a different number of ways, to that when Heather and I had this conversation in 2023, I was like, let's just do it. We did it once, let's do it again. And ta-da, here we are. So that was like just a crazy dream that I had like no direction. Took a couple of years, but here we are. Is there
I wasn't as hesitant this time as I was
the last time.
Yeah. I was not. I was like, oh, because that ended up being the best thing ever. I just knew the amount of time.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Oh my God, like, how do I squeeze anything else out of here? But I also think people don't dream big enough. So I love that you have the outlandish goals, because I feel sometimes mine aren't big enough.
Yeah, you have to. Like, so there's like this grandma house I want. So where I live, in order to have like anything over an acre, you're paying over $1 million. And there is this grandma, I call it a grandma house because the interior looks like it's from the 1970s, and I don't care. I absolutely love it. And I have it on my vision board. I may never get that specific house, but I will find a house that's like the acre where I can have all of my animals in the world, even though I'm allergic to them, I don't care. And just like live my best life and have no neighbors. Like I want to live in the middle of the city because I like convenience with no people. That's what I want.
Make
So,
your
like,
own
that's an
little-
outlandish dream for me, and Kenny laughs about it, but, like, that's what I want. Maybe I'll get there. We'll see.
No,
I'm putting it out there, guys.
we're looking at 2 acres now and to get our barn out. But to me, it's like everything about it is perfect except for it is in a flood zone. So
Right.
that part's not so great. So I was like,
Yeah, not so
right.
great at all. Is that really loud for you guys or no?
I only hear a little bit. I could tell something
Perfect.
was there,
Okay,
but I thought
great.
it was like you were moving papers or something. But
Just
I
wanted to
do
make
know what
sure.
it is.
They were spraying the window, and I was like, okay. What do you want to overcome or achieve? This was huge for me, and I took this more on a personal perspective than I did business or anything else. I have autoimmune issues, and it took me quite a number of years to reduce my inflammation and just feel like me again. So, overcoming and finding a way to still be me with my personal health concerns was incredible for overcoming. And that went on my vision board because I knew I may not be the same way I was before I had the autoimmune issues, but I could find a functioning, like healthy balance. So I always say, what do you want to overcome? Because that's one thing. And hopefully you can and find it for yourself. And then what do you want to achieve? Like, what is there something like I want to be fluent in Spanish. My son is Puerto Rican. I have a lot of Hispanic family. I just have like broken Spanish. I will listen to an entire show in Spanish, but I will never speak Spanish. There's very few things that I will say in Spanish. There's a lot that I understand. I just I want to feel confident and like, feel like I can just be like, "Hey, what's up? Let's have a conversation." But like I will always respond in English. To my son's abuela, she'll talk to me in Spanish. And she even said, she's like, wow, she really understands now. This is great. Because, it's been like 19 years. And I'm like, she's like, but she doesn't talk in Spanish. I'm like, no, like, I just won't.
That's pretty funny. That's
Yeah.
pretty funny. You're not alone in that. You're not alone in that at all. And I think, just like you were saying, I think that your vision board needs to be personal and
Yeah.
business.
100%.
It all flows together.
It's got to fit the quadrants of your life. Like, so for my vision board, when it comes to who, where, what do you want to be in the future, I wanted to incorporate business, family, pleasure, personal growth, whatever that meant for me, just to fulfill my self-care and my health. And that's really what I've incorporated.
No, I think that's great.
Areas of your life to include, speaking of that, career, business, and work, whatever it means to you. If you're an admin or a broker, you can even segment it into what is my personal business, what is my team business, what is my brokerage business, if that category fits for you. Family, taking more family vacations was huge for us because for a really long time, since we were very young parents, we didn't. My son was very fortunate to have grandparents that took him on all kinds of vacations because we were just always working. So now that we have the ability to do that, I wanted to really incorporate that. Health, like I said, what is it that's going on in your health? Do you want to not necessarily lose 10 pounds, but you just want to get healthier, lower cholesterol, or whatever it is that you want to work on? Life goals. What is a life goal? For me, serenity. I wanted to have a really good work-life balance for a life goal, and I wanted to have more calm than anxiety. So I made that a huge, huge, huge thing for myself. Learning and education isn't the saying that learning, what's the saying that we always say? Now I have a brain fart. Like learning is growing or never stop learning or something in our industry. There's like a saying that we say. Be learning based. Found it. It came to me. You want to stay learning based. So regardless of what that learning base is, of course now he's at my window.
I was like, are they next to you now?
Gosh. They were supposed to come later on today, people. So if you want to be learning based, what does that mean to you? Whether it's becoming better leadership skills, having better marketing skills, just having more grace with yourself, setting healthy boundaries. Figure out what that learning means to you. Bucket list. Like, what is like Heather said, going to Europe could be a bucket list item for her. What is a bucket list item that sounds outlandish that you want to do? Mine, I want to go to every Disney place there is in the world. I just want to go. It just looks really fun. I know I'm cheesy, but that's what I want to do. I hear Japan's really great. Is there something in your home, whether it's like doing renovations or getting a new home or whatever it is? Be like Lowe's, never stop improving. And then your personal goals. Like, what is it that you want to do for yourself? Like, what do you want to do for you? Because you have to take care of yourself, and self-care is tremendous.
No, I think for the longest time on my vision board was always trying to find that balance, because I love what I do. And to me, that is fun.
Yeah.
But then I was leaving out. I just realized I was a horrible wife and mom. It just felt like every weekend where it just kind of became routine. Every night I'm sitting at the, the field for the kids and all these different activities. But I did not have a work-life balance. Like, I worked all the time. And even when I would go out of town, my dogs, my children, they're all in my office at the house, because that's where they feel close to me. And that's when, okay, I may have a problem. But I loved what I do. So to me, that was fulfilling my cup. But at the same time, you do need that break. And I still struggle with that. Luckily, where I am, there's so many different places I still want to explore. There's so many different, every weekend, it's a matter of picking which one I want to actually go do. And now that the kids are older and, they're working and school, whatever, they don't need me anymore. So we are able to camp. And there are many times when it's like, okay, we're going camping this weekend. 70% of me is like, but I have so much work I have to do.
I know, that guilt, man.
But then I like force myself to go. And I have a great time. Like, we go camping as often as we can. But most of me wants to stay home, but I know I will work the entire weekend.
Yeah. There's the thing that Kenny has helped me for my boundaries, and it's actually been really great. And I don't know where he thought of it, or if he's just realized that, like, when we have like something going on and I'm like, I have to focus on this right now, I can't do anything else or enjoy my life or have fun until we get through this, he'll be like, it'll still be there when we come back, right? Like, we can go to Disney for 2 days or whatever, and it'll be there. So, like, just compartmentalize it. So I've been really working on that. It does help.
It's a struggle though.
It is.
Like, I just like being able to go camping and enjoying myself, knowing otherwise my brain just doesn't, but I have this.
Yeah.
But he helps me with that a huge bit. And I do have a lot of fun, and I'm like, okay, I'm enjoying myself. The views, the mountains, whatever it may be. So I am trying to be better at that. And I will go, because he'll kind of force me, not really force me, but I know I can't really say no, because then he'll give me a hard time. So I just go. And then I'm like, yep, okay. So Sunday afternoon when we get home, I can do whatever I need to do, or I just get up at 3 on Monday morning and it's all fixed by 9. So I get it though. But I think that we have to fill our cup in order to fill others. I think that's
it's
huge.
So true.
And then you have to create your board.
Yeah, you do have to create your board. We were actually talking about this too, where I was telling Heather, it was like, I found some really cool apps that we could share in this class, but then I thought about not sharing the apps, because if it's on your phone and it's an app, you have to go into the app to look at your vision board, and that really defeats the entire purpose. So unless you're going to make it in the app and then extract it, if there's a way to extract it and put it like on your cell phone or something like that, then okay, cool. But if not, nah.
I personally think you need to print it, put it somewhere you see every day. I don't care if it's the inside of your closet, at your office. Some actually
I'll show you guys. Wait, can I turn? See, I don't know if you can see the little white poster in the corner, but wrong way. That is literally my vision board, and that's my closet door. So
There you go. Some even save it as their desktop graphic. So every time you step onto your computer, that's what you see.
yeah.
So I think no matter where you do it, if you have Canva, you don't need the pro version. It's free.
Yeah.
If you just go in there, do a search for vision board. They have all the layouts you could imagine. And then you can just do a search in Elements or go into Google and do a search. You're not publishing it anywhere. So
You know, another thing I found too that I thought was really, really cool is you can get written templates. So if you have a journal or a notebook that you use every day for your business, even like a notebook like this, like you can get something like this. And if you do a visual one with pictures and everything in your house, that's great. Or even on your computer, but then you can do a written one because the templates are all over the internet for free, and like tape it into your binder. So when you open your binder, that's what you see every day.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Or even if you did half and half. So you have one in the first page and you actually do the printed version and just tape it kind of like a cover, like we used to cover our books in school and stuff.
Yeah.
I think there's so many different ways. You can do the good old paper, magazines, glue, scissors, all the messy stuff, but you don't need anything. Everything can be free, whether it be Canva, you go to Google Slides, Word, Publisher, PowerPoint, whatever it may be. You could draw it if you wanted to. It does not matter. You just need to have something done, and that it is going to be a visual, something that's you can put somewhere wherever you're going to see it every single day. So as you can see, here is mine for this year. Here's a couple. And look, I have my little she shed. I've kind of outgrown my she shed, but because we're looking like, I don't know what we're doing yet, whether we fix up this house, we find that other property, not sure. Depends. Say I still have my kitchen because it's hideous. But at the same point, it'd just be nicer just to get a new something, Retirement's always there. Look, we have our live classes, just more courses and classes. So it's a little bit of everything and fun. Recharge. Going up in the mountains, for me, that is my recharge. Some people read books. I had a friend, I think her goal was like over 100 books this year and did it.
That's insane. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I may not get through all of them, but my goal was like one a month. And one's a really small book. So I was like, I could probably finish that one in a week.
I used to be able to do the audibles all the time when I had to drive back and forth to work. But now that I just walk to my backyard into my little she shed, it's not the same. I don't do it. I should have it as my background because I do like have TV and I don't even know what's on there. It's just for kind of background noise. So it's not quiet. I should get back into my Audible. My son, he's like, that's all he ever asked for Christmas.
That's awesome. I get too distracted for Audibles and even like Kindles. Like I have to have a paper book. Otherwise I will just be like, because like, right. Like if I read a book on my phone or a tablet, it'll be like, oh, well, I don't have to read this right now. I could go do
I think it's the visual for me it's on the other bookshelf. I moved them over here. For me, after I read a book and I still see the cover on my, my bookshelf that I have to see to when I walk in my office, it's almost like little reminders of my takeaways from that actual book.
I love it.
That's the whole visual thing again.
Yes. What's also good, people, too, which I just did, and Kenny thought I was crazy, but I love it. So the best book I read for 2023 was Atomic Habits. It really helped me to do like small, minute things to like compound better habits throughout the day. So I think I went on Red Bumble. I'm pretty sure it was Red Bumble. And they had a cheat sheet of like literally the most important segments of Atomic Habits in like this really cool looking sticker format. So I bought it's almost like an 8x10 sticker. I didn't stick it to the fridge, but I put tape literally right over where the water dispenser and the ice dispenser is. So when I'm filling my cup, I have to look at it.
Oh, and I saw that thread. Somebody was saying, something about them. And you said, do this book, The Atomic
Yeah.
That you had the same problem and that was huge for you. And then they said
They
that book
actually
is
have it.
literally on my coffee table
Yeah.
right now. And I was like, whoa.
Isn't it crazy?
Yes, that was so crazy. So I immediately went onto Amazon and got it. So
I love it. I want to do the journal now. And ironically, like Kenny was looking for a couple books for the cruise. And he was like, oh, do we have either of these books? It was like 7 Habits of Highly Effective People and then Atomic Habits. I was like, I have both of them. He's like, you do? I was like, do you not know me? Like,
I have way more books than I've ever read.
right.
But they're here. Maybe one day.
One day, right? Yeah.
I'm always on the computer and I don't know. I need to do better at that. But me, note cards, all of these different things. So whatever it is, definitely do that. And I think it's super important. This was probably where I struggled the most doing things in magazines other than just the photos that I couldn't find. Was make sure you have powerful words throughout your office, on your vision board, whatever things. I have them all over my office, just something as reminders, and they should mean something to you. On just kind of power words. And I know we were just all talking about this is I usually have a word of the year and a song. And I
love this song concept.
It's always been a thing for me. And even though my phone's pretty much on do not disturb now anymore, just because otherwise my phone just never stops. I don't know how you guys deal with it. I'm like, well, it's just, selling me insurance why? Like, what are you doing? Leave me alone. Warranties. I don't even know. I mean, I'm not like my husband. I'm not going to answer every spam call and
right.
And he likes to play with them until they transfer to the real person. Like he does that.
Entertainment.
Like we're at a fancy restaurant and he's doing, no, your name's really not John. Like I can barely understand you. Really? What's your name? And he just plays with them like he's totally interested until they transfer over. Oh, he drives me nuts. But find words that mean something to you. I like to change my word as well as my song, and it's it comes to me. It's not, even like I put thrive on there. Thrive, I'm not quite at thrive, but I am close. I do like fearless and the inspire and confidence, purpose. I do like those probably more than thrive, even though the meaning. And you could even go to AI and ask, what are some powerful words? And it'll give you the definition, all this other really cool stuff.
And it doesn't even have to make sense to other people. It could be like something that triggers a significant feeling for yourself. Because I'm really into, for so long, women more so than men. I feel like men have a little bit more confidence in certain departments than we do. But I would say, oh, I'm fat, or I'm this, or I'm that. And like when you feed yourself that negativity, it's really detrimental to your mental health, whether you believe it or not. Like it really is. So I have learned never to say those things about myself ever again. And I'm trying to put as much powerful things and happy things into words and affirmations that I could feed myself. So I totally agree with this. I wish I could be like you and come up with do you do your word of the year in the beginning of the year? Because for me, I find that really hard. I have to always do it retrospectively and just reflect on what that word is at the end of the year.
Usually it comes to me at the end of the year for the upcoming year as I'm doing my business planning. That's usually when a word will kind of shoot out to me. And I have so many different words. Last year when I heard the song Unstoppable, that it completely hit me. And of all the different words that I had been thinking of, the music isn't always the easy part, but usually I'll hear a song and I know and I think I don't know if you remember Ally McBeal, and they had theme songs. So I've been doing my theme song since then. I have had Miley Cyrus or Hannah Montana. The Climb was during my struggling times. I mean, it's just, there's always a song that I will hear, and that becomes
It's
my
your
song.
power stance song. You're like,
It
let's go,
is.
guys.
Working through it and empowering to me, and usually the word. So it's not like, oh, at the beginning of the year, a word comes to me. It will come to me. It's not hindsight though, but it is something that that's it. Like, you just know that's it right now. And I mean, sometimes my song will last a couple years as I'm, I think The Climb was a couple years. I mean, that was what, '08, when all that, just everything was just kind of not pretty. I think I lost my job. My husband lost his job. I mean, it was just, there was quite the climb to be able to get out of that hole of, all the craziness that was going on. So it comes to me. I don't know that usually I will have a word of the year before the new year, but I have a couple. Just thrive isn't, I'm not there yet because I'm still working to do all that. So strength, purpose, inspire, confidence, those are always like, these are kind of words that are meaningful to me right now. So I want them to be out there, like, just to keep me going. And that's you. And that's what we were just saying. Where to put this? You have to put it.
Put it somewhere, like on your wall, your phone lock screen. I know Kristen does a really good job of making it her phone lock screen and even her background. And it's so cute for her. Like, it's just perfect. I know for a while you used to do your computer background as well. I do the wall poster just because, like, I have realized let me rephrase that. I'm like, wrong way. On my phone, I do have like a cute little saying, and I love polar bears. They're my favorite animal in the whole world. And I ask myself a quote. So I might change it for this year. And it's, does this support the life I'm trying to create? So like, it was like my mantra for 2023 of like, am I intentionally doing this to help create a better future for myself, or am I being reactive? And it just put me in that awareness mindset of like, you're being reactive. It's time to be correct. So I use that as my background versus, oh my goodness, as
It
my
sounds like they're in the house now.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
Throwing stuff around.
Or
there must be a thumbtack in there. I was just gonna say, like, for words and quotes, I do that with my calendars. So that way it's, I have kind of like a quote that's inspiring and it's huge. So, but I'm always looking at my calendar for dates and stuff like that. So that is helpful too. This year I did a custom one, although that would have been good to do my own little quotes. I mean, I have enough. I could have done those as pictures, but I did a variety of photos of my Jeep instead this year.
That's totally
maybe
right.
next year, but that's a good idea, actually.
Yeah.
I think, because I always like to have different calendars because I'm always looking at it just to see like the full month in general, but I kind of like that idea. And the phone lock screen.
Yeah.
Usually that's just something.
Because even if you're not like, how do I say it? Even if you're not consciously aware of it, you're non-consciously aware because you're looking at it. And you will never hear me use the word subconscious because it means that part of your brain is less than when you say sub. So I don't subscribe to that notion. So I like to say non-conscious because it's the part of my brain that's not aware. It's just on autopilot. So you see it every time you go to your phone, whether you're actually aware of it or not. And I just think it's a really good reminder.
Yeah, because I have pictures of like some of my favorite pictures of like fall, or I don't know, just something that I like to see. I don't know. That's pretty interesting. So basically, I think you have to create that vision board. And if you did not watch our business planning class, I think you need to go do that because you have the vision board, but you have to create a roadmap.
Yep.
To complete that. You can't just wish and pray. I feel there has to be purpose and you have to build that roadmap. But to me, you can't build that roadmap unless you know what it is you want to achieve, because you have to be able to, it kind of all works together. And this, if you were to scan this, it will take you to our Recharge 2024, our business planning. So you can download the business plan, watch the business planning. It's in the group. it's everywhere, but definitely I feel have the vision, and now you have to create that roadmap to the success. How are you going to achieve those? But without knowing what you want to do, you're just, kind of going through the motions, and your business might be like this. But I feel if we're intentional and have purpose, and you're excited about what you will do if you achieve those goals, I feel that's ginormous and a huge part of how we can succeed and reach our goals. And I'm very competitive with the person in the mirror.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, I am nonstop competitive. I am looking at my business plan, my numbers. I'm looking at everything at least once a month, because I just, put a number out there. Okay, now let's double that. How do I achieve that? What do I need to do to make that happen?
Yeah. And also sit with yourself too. Like, I don't know if I touched on this in the business class or not, but I think my last takeaway for everyone would be, I restructured my entire business in August, September of 2023, like literally threw everything out the door and said, this is what I want to do. And it was very outlandish. It was not typical within our industry. It was just very true to me, but it wasn't very norm. And it's crazy and really, really cool to see how all of the pieces are just starting to go together, because I said, you know what, I'm going to be 100% true to myself. I told our coach, I said, I'm not a typical real estate agent. I'm consciously aware of that. And for so many years, I felt like I could never be like that. But the reason why I had all that pushback is because that's never going to be me. Like, I have to be who I am. And you'd be surprised. So don't be afraid to go towards whatever that authentic thing is that makes you you. It might just start to flow.
And you'll never be you may surprise yourself where it actually leads you.
Yeah.
That was me too. Going off. It was horrifying. My husband kept a smile and said the right words, but
he was probably like, oh gosh.
Horrified. Like, what do you want to do? And, but I was like, I wanted to, I knew I needed something different, and I couldn't find it. So I made it up.
Created it.
And I can tell you, I have never looked back. It has, certainly been growing pains and learning lessons along the way, but never unsatisfied, if that makes sense. And
100%.
I have the ability to adjust my sales as I need to. So I feel being authentic to who you are, what you're passionate about, and if you can find a way to make money from that, then there's and business planning. I'm a believer in business planning and that vision board now that I've done it.
Game changer.
But I think that's great. Go to your visions boards. I want you to share them in the thread. I want to see what they look like. Make sure you should always have an accountability partner, because I feel that's super important. Spouse, teammate, whatever it may be. I feel that's super important, because then you can check on each other, and having that accountability almost gives you that little tap in the butt as you need it. And even brainstorming different ideas to be able to achieve different things in different ways. So make sure you have that. Feel free, put it in the group. We'd love to be that and see how you're doing and do that checkup. And that was great. I think that was it. Yes.
That was good. Thanks, guys.
So we'll see you guys in a couple weeks, or
we have our
great classes. We put them all in there.
We have our Canva classes, which I will do a post so that way it's strategic and you guys know when to look forward to them, but it'll be every Monday. We have a guest speaker this month, which is the lovely Miss Kendall Bonner. And then we've locked in our February and March speakers as well.
So make sure read the post. If you're interested in speaking, have something to speak on, make sure you email Bree. All of the information was in that post. We can't wait to see what we do. So have an amazing 2024, and we want to see those vision boards.
Yay.
Bye, guys.